Cheers, and hello, you archaeologists. I'm the Johnstruct.
The people never happy. It's never enough.
Hey, it never enough. Welcome to the proximity. I'm having a
cannot believe you, Ellen.
not for broadcast adventure. Let's get off this.
Are you saying that advance have cured death?
Jog off.
Yeah, there we go. Moved off that screen. That's two Johns. There's too many Johns. Silence. So we'll pause it while I get rid of this John and this. So we saw a bit of it last time because it crashed, but that's fine. Oh god, oh there we go.
Problem? I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to both of them.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey returns with a new
Jenny.
Don't remember that.
His very first guest is popular Paris.
Sorry, Kath, you're going to have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Numb.
Not letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
I thought we were
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Going in
high and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Tempt me.
Meghan and all the team at the National.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
What are your reaction to the sanctions?
It's fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get her transitioned? What's the government doing about it? Eh? What's the government doing about it?
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff. Thanks, Patrick.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side.
Cool.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Hi there, I was wondering if you could spend a moment to give us your thoughts on the government.
Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. I know the assets and world checks have made the difference for us with the cost of the little one. And people seem, happier.
See, I don't actually have information on the real world to know if this is accurate or not.
Over to you, fellas. Global mega corporation Remington Spist today announced that trials have successfully completed on their groundbreaking male contraceptive product, Responsibility.
The drug has been passed by the government for general release, but the small print warns that, in rare cases, side effects can include blurred vision, enlarged genitalia, and increased risk of stroke. No double entendre intended.
But what do you, the public, think of Sophia Remington's latest venture? Patrick?
So what are your feelings on the new contraceptive pill?
I think it's a great idea. A big step forward for equality. Sophia Remington is the best thing that has ever happened to that company.
The delicate sound of thunder. A frightening start for commuters this morning, who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Johnstruct, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
Or to apologise to this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods?
They're somewhat radical.
Do you have any feelings about Disrupt?
It's all a bit noisy for me, really. As Mother always said, leave the rebelling to the rebels, Malcolm.
Feast or famine? Resourceful doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensford today announced their first successful harvest in Dante's taint. Although they can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists chose to try and survive in the cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they like Stroganoff.
But with Advance planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. Christ. Oh, Jesus, wept. Have you thought about quitting smoking?
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right.
Trapped scientists. Brilliant.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, vitally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Oh, yeah, fantastic. I'm applying today. I mean, why wouldn't you? What are these protesters doing? They don't want us to know who their names are. Besides, of the
hang on.
savings you can get, I'm getting one for the little one as well.
How adorable.
Yeah. Gonna be a proper little team member, aren't you? Yes. He smiles. He smiles.
And finally tonight, game of two halves. Fresh out of rehab, repentant celebrity sportsman Johnny Hamsleeves is promising to turn over a new leaf.
In a surprisingly energetic appearance on the Whitney Chinwag show this morning, Johnny showed everyone he's certainly full of life and raring to go.
You better not try that on our sofas. I doubt they'll survive the frenzy.
But what should we think of this exuberant behaviour? Patrick?
Don't really care, love.
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a
Jay Zus
set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
That's the titles.
Let me go check my makeup.
I mean, there was someone to do it for you.
She's not your enemy.
Is it you then?
No, it's Bannon.
Oops.
Thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation.
Okay, we passed where we
Peter
were.
Clement is at his home in Lamfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard at Labour camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who think he have big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Friendland then.
We have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent, yeah?
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah?
Minister?
It's just Björk, yeah.
Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole, like, voting, yeah? But it's actually the Festival of Fureland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So, like, we all had to look our grandparents clean, yeah, whilst the vote was happening, and that's, like, a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You have this expression, sissy man. It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah,
Oh,
because...
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have, like, serious animal welfare legislation. And, like, my friend Helga, she got arrested, yeah, for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She was a right cracker, too. I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
That's human interest, Jeremy. The real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Christ, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go in for all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Björk?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated divisive concepts like money. In Svenland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant Newton hairy bear. When really, he just standing in field.
Holding his tiny penis, yes. Thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
Thank you for the correction.
Well, you have to be more careful.
It's all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
Only acid gastrique contains an organic blend of ingredients that penetrates.
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
The intensive formula
bow to foreign royalty.
What?
Should I just like curtsy?
Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Meghan?
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Oh.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite all right.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimp, are you?
5 and 10 seconds.
He put that get up on himself. I'm just saying.
Acid gastric.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the street,
Your show,
I used to
The
watch it
News.
through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand you.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of a
Or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh, no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah, you love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snubbed ones, the pushed and the shoved ones, the folks who feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley, the ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, of the rest of the ways, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Take your hate to go getters, no squilling bed getters, and burn them on the pyres of advances fucking letters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team, and advances little dances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt, then your anger erupt, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
I'm not sure I understand some of the sentences.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ads.
Just to remind.
No.
Mix up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask you to
trust me.
leave it.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
In the trivia round.
Dad, in non-Euclidean geometry, which type of surface has constant negative Gaussian curvature?
Hyperbolic?
Correct. It's a leap year. Catch the egg. Name that fish. Kick the bucket. Wait, is that? Yes, it's the toy story.
Oh, here we go. Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Raiden.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Oh, thank you.
Try.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Raiden, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs are akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so. Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris, Jesus, that was hard.
It's catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yep. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred path!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, is actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which, frankly, would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus
Goodness, and you do this every night?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable, Megan.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt, you'll have taken our jobs.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Oh.
Okay. Well, not the best I've ever done, but got a C. I'll take it. Got my full wages. Ooh. Holiday time. Everyone went up. Okay. I'm gonna just continue, I reckon. Ladder worth climbing. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon in summer, with you and Sam making most of both kids being out of the house. You head into the pantry, taking a moment to remember when it was used to be your mother's room, before coming out with the last 2 slices of homemade cake. It's rare for you and Sam to actually get to finish sweet things in this house. You savour every mouthful. Just as you take your last bite, you hear the sound of the front door slamming. That'll be Charlie back from the Go-Getters. You can hear him practically running to come find you. He's grinning from ear to ear when he finally does. I have some really big news. You and Sam play along, sitting attentively with bated breath. Ready? Charlie asks as you both nod enthusiastically. With a flourish, he reveals a new badge from his pocket. Proudly presents it to you both to examine as he announces, "As today, I'm a member of the first tier of the Cohesive Cadets. There's way more stuff I'm going to be doing, and I'll be working some weekends, but it's really cool." You and Sam grin back at your son, who you're thrilled that he's happy and doing well. Does seem a bigger several for teenagers, but... sign of things to go. Shopping, shopping, shopping. Sometimes something that always seemed to be tedious before sanctions has become even more of a chore now. You managed to get almost everything you needed for the family this evening, but you have to come back tomorrow to get through the week. There's a queue to leave the car park. It's hard to make out why it's dark. Why in the dark? Well, hopefully whatever's causing it won't be long. As the final car in front of you drives off, you realise the queue is actually due to a checkpoint set up at the exit. Friendly-looking man in an advanced uniform, CCO, emblazoned on the number of places on it, approaches your car and knocks on the driver's side window. You roll it down. Good evening, nothing to worry about. I was just wondering if I could see your team membership card, please. Are these cards supposed to be voluntary? I'm sorry, I don't have one. That's not a problem. I've got forms with us right here. We're more than happy to sign you up. Man gestures to his colleague behind him, young woman in a similar uniform. She clearly received the short end of the stick and stuck with the paperwork. Thought these cards weren't required. Well, strictly speaking, they're not. There's also loads of benefits to having them, and no reason not to get one. His smile fades a bit. He puts up a hand to skirt to the back of his neck for a moment. He leans over to you. His presence seems a little intimidating. No thanks, not something I want right now. Almost instantly, this friendly demeanour is gone. His expression is one of stern disapproval. Well, obviously I can't make you sign up, but I would strongly recommend you do, and soon. We wouldn't want people to think you had anything to hide, would we? Takes a step back and gestures for you to drive on. You're sure to see him writing something down in your rearview mirror. You head home somewhat more hurriedly than before. Clearly, Advance are very keen on everyone joining the team. Very sinister. Invitation worth ignoring. It's a Saturday, one of your few days off. You made most of it, but as a late afternoon draws on, the invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring accusingly at you. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event. Postman was very quick to tell you. Also, don't you dare be late. You already missed your anniversary this year. You're not giving up another Saturday. Postman is certainly not going to be happy, but when Postman would be happy if he was made king the same day he won the lottery. That's not a problem. Not right away anyway. Entitled to your time off and damn well going to make the most of it. Consequences will be Monday's problem.